are back and black in the building. Man, shout out to everybody out there at the Court Plantation doing what they need to do to survive. Man, shout out to everybody out there handling business. Man, it's your boy Warren G in the place. Been clown sucker free since 2003. Ain't no finessing me. Did Jesus come back? Oh, damn. Been praying and Hababashando and all this other shit. Teaching Sunday school, going to church, treating church like it's an insurance policy just in case it's real. But that's all good. Shout out to everybody out there. You know I'm about to go down the list. Shout out to my sister, the homegirl, Shawnee, Philly in the building, Erica, Florida in the building. Hey, Dave from No Compromise, Georgia in the building. My brother James Youngblood, Texas in the building. Shout out to everybody out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, all my siblings and everybody out there handling business. Hey, you do what you do what you do. Shit, don't handle your business. Handle your scandal and keep it moving. So that's how it go. Shout out to the homegirl Jerica out here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as it is. That's my homegirl, like my sis too. So shout out to my sis. And shout out to the homegirl Melina from North Carolina, aka North Kakalaka. So shout out to everybody out there I just mentioned. Man, we got a good one today. I've been watching this unfold, and now I want to kind of play y'all some of the things that had been said about this NBA coach named George punk-ass Karl. I never liked George Karl. You could just look at him and tell he was an arrogant white man who treated motherfuckers like shit. So we gonna have a great one today. Let's get it. Man. Gotta cut that down a little bit. But anyway, man, look, we about to get into it. I'm trying to find this video. I was watching it. It came up on my feed. And I want to.
Have you ever had to get in a coach's shit like that?
Hold on. Okay, here we go.
Joe, I was gonna beat George up in them.
I want y'all to listen to
during the
this.
game?
Halftime, yeah. Okay. Mine in public, I tried to beat Joe. I was gonna beat George up in them. Oh no, I got suspended in the playoffs. We played the Clippers. Like the final 3 games, yeah, I played the first 2 games. Yeah, I got suspended for the rest of the playoffs.
I never went that far.
Oh no, I was trying. Yeah, it was. And
Is that the only coach?
Yeah.
Okay, then that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Says an awful lot.
I can honestly say, if Latrell Sprewell never had choked PJ Carlesimo, and I knew the result, and I knew like my track record and all that, I would have beat George up, dog. I'm dead ass serious. I knew in the back of my mind my career was over.
Oh, so he was
right.
He's one of those.
Like my career was over had I did I got in it so in halftime of Old Stapleton, but crypto, where the coaches meet at in the hallway, then they come.
Yeah.
So we all went in the locker room.
Listen to this.
I waited till they was in their meeting in the hallway, and I went right in between them, and the assistant coaches backed up. Nigga, they didn't grab me, didn't touch me, they moved back. And I was right in his face, you motherfucker, I kick your goddamn ass, you fat mother. I was listening, dog. I said, you lucky. I was crying, dog. I wanted it, man. So you lucky. Like, I told him, you fucking lucky, dog. I went back in the locker room, nigga, and told them niggas on the team, all you motherfuckers selfish, y'all ain't gonna win shit, and any of you niggas feel away, say something. Nigga, it was crickets in that bitch. Whistling Dixie, nigga. Yeah. Nigga, I turned my chair around a lot. Nigga, I called my assistant at the time. They said, man, you got a car here? Nigga, I was leaving at halftime, dog.
Damn.
Do you remember what set you off in that moment?
I was going through knee problems, and me and the dude talked leading up to the playoffs.
Man, that's what I wanted to play, so y'all can hear that. But wow, and my. George Karl is an asshole. I never liked him. Okay, hold on, I'm finna find something else. Hold on, let's see. Y'all gonna be like, why is he talking about this? You'll see. says, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if we can find it. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, man, hold on. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if we can find it. Man, it better not be tripping. Because I saw a clip. While it's loading, I saw a clip. Damn, this ain't no fucking dial-up internet. What the fuck is going on with... I hate Cox Cable. But anyway, Cox Communications. But, oh, here we go. Dismiss. But anyway, I want to see what Kmart is saying, a.k.a. Kenyon Martin, is saying about George Karl, because he definitely has a lot of significance of why he's saying this. Because on the Melo's been telling his truth about his experience with this suspected white supremacist. And it stems all the way back to his NBA career when he first entered the league. And he had to play with Iceman George Gervin. And he said that he didn't like how Iceman didn't pass the ball. George Karl, you are a fat piece of shit in the NBA. You are a nobody. So I don't know why George Gervin was the man and you were not. So stop with the bullshit. I don't know why the fuck this shit doing this, man. See, I noticed that they do that. I noticed that they do that. Hold on, let's see if we can get it to play. Man, the fuck is going on? Now all of a sudden, YouTube don't want to play the videos and all this other shit. They get on my nerves with that shit, man. But anyway, because I don't even think it's going to play. All of a sudden, y'all, it's not playing, but what Kenyon Martin explained, he basically was like this. I saw how he treated Carmelo. He came in there talking shit to Carmelo. You ain't never won no championship, and you done destroyed all the teams that you coached and talk shit about every motherfucking black athlete on those teams. So Kenyon Martin was like, off top, fuck George Karl. Off top, fuck that motherfucker. He was a piece of shit. Now imagine how many other dominant society white coaches are like George Karl, who talk crazy to the NBA players. PJ Carlesimo, fuck him too. That's why Sprewell did what he did. You can't poke the bear, and then when the motherfucker react, all of a sudden you want to go victim. Fuck PJ. I ain't never liked him anyway. He looked like a suspected white supremacist. That's the problem. That's what I admire about today's generation. Today's generation, they know their worth. And they like, nope, I don't want him on the team. Or I'm out of here. And I don't blame those athletes for doing that. Because these dominant society motherfuckers have been getting away with shit for years. And I don't want to hear it. At all. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. What, Kmart says George Karl took a shot at my mom win. Yeah, hold on, let me see. Hold on, let me see if that'll play. Man, what the fuck is going on? Man, I don't want no fucking... Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Because they probably don't want to play this. Because he's going in on George Karl. Let me see. Let me see if I can find something. Man, what the fuck is going on with YouTube all of a sudden? That's why I can't even go live no more. I don't know what the fuck they got going on. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Shit. Yeah, this shit bullshit. Hold on, let me see. I'm just gonna see. Because Melo, I've been watching Melo's podcast, and he basically compared Melo to Detlef Schrempf. How the fuck you gonna compare Carmelo Anthony to Detlef Schrempf? Man, nigga, you done lost your mind. That's why none of them motherfucking players liked him. That's why. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what J.R. Smith says. Man, what the fuck is going on, bro? For real. Now YouTube, I'll never have this problem. Now YouTube is tripping. Man, I swear, man. I hate Cox. And I know it's they asses. Man. Now all of a sudden, it's running slow. Now YouTube is bullshit too. Yeah, they don't want me to play this shit. I know they don't. That gotta be it. And the shit is running slow. What the fuck is going on, bro? That's why I hate this fucking internet. I'm telling you. Here we go.
You were suspended in 2006 for conduct
Hold on. And this is Michelle Beadle interviewing him. So I want to hear what Kmart got to say.
detrimental to the team. What happened, and how's your relationship with George Karl?
George Karl, first and foremost. I was having knee problems before the playoffs. Came up with an agreement I was going to sit out a few games to get ready for the playoffs. George started Francisco Elson in my spot. Last few games go to him before the playoffs. I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to start. He said he's going to start Francisco. He want to reward him. We go game 2. I tell him we lost game 1. Back in the starting lineup. I'm going to start Francisco again. Now you playing. We start the game. I played 7 minutes in the first half. So towards the end of the second quarter, he put Greg Buckner in for Eddie Nahara. I guess I'm not going back in. So by this time, I'm steaming. I was the first person off the bench. I'm going to the locker room. I go right in the hallway while they're in there.
Man, he just describing what happened before. Hold on. Let's see. Let me see if we can play this.
Yes,
Were you
sir.
surprised when you saw what George Karl wrote about you?
Absolutely. I've been home minding my business. I've been enjoying retirement, so I haven't thought about George. I haven't thought about anything relating to Denver.
Now, this is a white man who wrote a book about these players.
Very much surprised.
And how did they hit you when you first saw them on your phone, right?
Yeah, I was I'm getting ready to take my baby to Disneyland for her second birthday. I'm at the gas pump. I get a text message of what George was saying, a little snippet from his book. And they caught me off guard. Last thing I expected to see first thing in the morning, but here we are.
Did you tweet immediately, or you gave yourself a little time to gather yourself?
Had an hour and a half drive to go down to Disney, so had time to gather my thoughts because it just can't fly off the handle. People call it a rant, but it was well thought out. I'm not an English teacher. A few grammar errors, no commas, parentheses, whatever you want to call it. I don't care, but I had time to gather my thoughts, man. And
So what did you think your relationship was with George Karl when
George Karl is a white supremacist and don't like niggas and enjoy being in power over niggas. That's what he is. But anyway.
you played for him?
there wasn't one. It was player coach. It was player coach. That's all it was. There was no relationship outside of basketball. He didn't try to build one, and I didn't try to pursue one.
Was he difficult to play for or to deal with?
George is not a people person. George used to walk through the locker room and not speak to anyone. When players sit in the locker room, we all at our lockers, and I don't know no coach that would do that.
Yep.
We all in this together. So you come through and not speak to anyone, that's just it's egotistical. That's arrogant.
Yep.
I don't know nobody walk in a room and not acknowledge anyone.
Right.
Who does that?
When you say it's hard to find a coach that's been in the business as long as George Karl has, and there has not
because he's a good old boy.
been any players come to his defense. What do you think that says about him?
That he ain't
Proof
shit.
is in the pudding.
Man.
The proof is there. It's how you treat people and how you deal with people and how people perceive you. Like you said, he's been in the NBA for a long time. He has a lot of wins. He's been blessed to
Yeah, fuck out of here with that bullshit. Man. Yeah, we're going to see what J.R. Smith has to say. If
There are people who are rich.
Don't say anything, but yeah. I'm playing this for a reason. Y'all going to see.
How did your mentality change when you got to Denver?
In Denver, I was more like, I think in Denver, I was way more rebellious. Like, I felt like it was like, to hell with the media, to hell with the coaches. I was coming off like a really bad interview my second year, and I was talking about the coach and like how not being able to really being able to communicate with him, because again, he's an older guy. He didn't like younger players.
This is Byron. This is Byron, yeah.
Didn't like younger players. And like his whole staff was pretty much like that, except for Kenny Gaddison. And it was just like, anytime I would ask him something, it was like, oh, that's a stupid question, Rook, or this and that. And it was just like, okay, so I'm not going to ask you anything. I'm just going to go out there and mess up. And then if you get mad, you get mad. So, and when that article came out, it kind of changed, obviously, he and I relationship and some of the other coaches. But when I got to Denver and started dealing with George, it was just like, oh my God, like, no, like I can't keep, like, if this is what the.
Yeah, you thought Byron Scott was a good coach. What are you talking about? Stop, JR. And then you went to the real devil.
NBA coaching is like, bro, how are y'all considered like great quote unquote coaches if y'all act like this? And it's like, to me, there's no worse feeling if you feel like the head of the game is throwing salt in the game. Like if you got everybody else playing hard and trying to do certain things, and you literally throwing salt in the game, like trying to mess with players' heads so they don't even like mesh together. It's like, what do you like? Why? Like I never understood that. Like if I come to you,
doesn't it sound like the corporate plantation to y'all? That's why I'm playing you these clips. Now I've been doing my studying and researching and reading articles, because I keep saying this is all corporate plantation bullshit. The NFL, the MLB, the NBA, the WNBA, it is your regular 9-to-5 job.
And tell you something about him, and then go to you and tell you something about him, and then just watch and see what happens. It's like, and it didn't even have to be true. It literally did not have to be true. Oh, Melo just said you shoot too much. You shoot too much. Oh, JR says you don't play defense. I'm sitting there looking like, yo, bro, did you say that? He's like, nah. He's like, yo, did you say this? I'm like, no. He's like, okay.
I always find that interesting, because when I would have a coach that would talk shit to me about one of my teammates, I would always think to myself, what does he say about me to my teammates?
And let me tell y'all something. When I played basketball in high school, when I had a black coach, the one thing I respected about him, he didn't give a fuck who you were. He'd talk shit, he'd tell you ain't shit, you bitch ass motherfucker. He was black coach. When that white man took over, oh, he acted just like them. Oh my God, just like them.
100%. 100. It's like, not only just to my teammates, you probably go home and tell everybody everything. Yep. Like, what is going on?
What goes on in those coaches' meetings? I want to be a fly on the wall. When we started this podcast, I want to be very clear, Tommy. When we started this podcast, I personally had no intention of George Karl or Byron Scott catching strays today. Okay.
Nah, see, for Byron, I'll give Byron a pass, because that was more me. That was just me being.
What did I just tell y'all? I never watched this interview before, but I've seen social media clips about J.R. Smith, but that's on other shit. I'm like, that's Byron Scott. That's a Laker great. And he a black man, and he don't operate like that, because it would have been other players saying the same shit. Chris Paul would have been one of the main motherfuckers saying it. So I don't want to hear that shit.
Young, dumb, and not really knowing things. Now George, he can catch all the strays.
Yeah, well, we don't have to relitigate it if you don't want to, but it's like he's taken a lot of shots at you since that time we did in the book and everything like that.
I mean, I think he lives to take shots at people now, and it's like, at what point do you, like, even? Do you not think you made any mistakes? Like, seriously, we didn't have one out of bounds play my whole time playing for this man. if you go back to our Lakers series, we lose on 3 out of bounds plays. Trevor Ariza steals all of them, and we lose. It's like, how do you I don't know. You got Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, and Detlef Shrimp, and all these dudes, and like you've had crews. How could you be labeled a great coach just because you won in the regular season?
Man, that's called great white hype. That's called anti-black racism. That's called the system of racism, white supremacy. That's what it's called in a nutshell.
You're gonna win games. If you coach long enough, you're gonna win games if you got the right talent.
Right. What was your favorite moment with AI?
I think my favorite moment with AI was like when he came into the locker room and pretty much let everybody know, like, if it's not me, and if it ain't him, I'm talking about Melo, then like literally give the ball up. And he was, but you know how like, you know when people talk indirectly, but they're talking directly, and it was just like
you felt that.
No, it wasn't towards me because he fortunately he knows who can score, who can't, and he also he has a huge problem with people who can't score having the ball at any point in time, unless it's like a dribble handoff or taking the ball out. He does not like it. So it was just so happened it was one of our big guys, and it was just like, and he's not wrapped too tight, so he's like he might fight you. So it's like we don't want that in the locker room at halftime or anything, but it's just like AI comes in and is like, oh well, you heard what he said. You heard what he said. Give him the ball.
How would you just in general describe that group of people in Denver? Your teammates,
we were. It's funny because I feel like we had that was probably the core of just a bunch of great dudes.
That's what I wanted to hear. Y'all like, man, what the fuck is Warren talking about? I'm talking about this, y'all. They labeled the Denver Nuggets when Kenyon Martin and Allen Iverson and Melo and Billups and all them, when they were on that team at one point in time, and J.R. Smith, that team was labeled thugs. They don't listen. They hard-headed. That type of shit. You know what I mean? That's what it was labeled. I remember even at one point I was like, maybe they're just not a good team. Maybe they don't listen. Because you don't know. You're just going by what the dominant society is telling you about your people. Now, years later, it makes sense. Let me tell you why. When he was the coach for the Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, he tore up that team. Then he went to the Milwaukee Bucks with Ray Allen and Big Dog and Sam Cassell. He talked shit about all them and tore up that fucking team. So by the third team, we were still thinking oh, George Karl, the great George Karl. Fuck that bad head motherfucker. He can't coach. He didn't know what he was fucking doing there. He probably don't know what the fuck is going on right now. And then you go back and start doing the history. You're like, oh, you been not liking black folk. So why was this parasitic mentality able to move around from team to team and destroy teams? Because of the goddamn color of his skin. Doesn't that remind you of the corporate plantation? When you watch managers and supervisors go from one department to another department being a goddamn wrecking ball and tearing up shit. But FBA folk, we can't even get past our probationary period. And even if we do get past that shit, you better not be looking to be nobody's supervisor. Oh, you could be a supervisor, and they gonna be looking at your ass upside your motherfucking head. That's the difference. That's why I believe now the NBA is hiring so many black coaches, because they know these young black players know their worth, and they ain't listening to no old school dominant society mentality, non-athletic. Dude, you were a bench warmer in the NBA. You was fucking trash. Man. That's why I'm proud that Kenyon Martin called his whole ass out. Then you was disrespectful and told Carmelo Anthony, you remind me of Detlef Shrimp. Nigga, what? You got me fucked up. And you ain't in a position to tell me who I remind you of at all, because you done coached all these damn teams and won all these games, but you ain't won no championship. That's like a manager or a VP of the department, and his department make money only during peak season. After peak season, his department is in the hole. Then that ain't no good VP. That's why you heard J.R. Smith say, well, I'll give Byron Scott a pass. You better, nigga. That's a Laker great, homie. The fuck you mean? That's different. And I believe in my heart Byron Scott ain't like that. That's a hoe-ass mentality. That's an envy. That sounds like a non-melanated, envious motherfucker. And this is the type of shit that we have to deal with, man. This is what we dealt with and are dealing with it to this day. Shout out to my homegirl, Melina. Shout out to the homegirl, Jerica. These are brilliant sisters. They don't cause no fucking drama. They don't go nobody's job, causing drama, starting a bunch of shit. But motherfuckers always want to start a bunch of shit with them. You get tired of that shit. You get tired of watching it. You get tired of living it. You get tired of being around it. And we have to have a different understanding. Like the Bible says, all thy getting, get an understanding. Shout out to the homegirl Nuke. Shout out to the homegirl Sister Cobweb. You know. But I've been seeing this come across my feed on Twitter for a minute. And one of the first things I was thinking about was when I seen another thing somebody posted where it's like basically saying like how these coaches have like God, they had like God complexes or whatever back in that day. And then as you're listening, you know, you're watching all these interviews on YouTube and they're talking shit about this dominant society coach, George Karl. And the first thing I was thinking was David from No Compromise, Warren G. As Nelly Fuller said, Warren G. They are the masters of confusion. It's like ever since, look, I read it in Nelly Fuller Jr.'s book, but when somebody else tells you, sometimes it resonates more. And when David from No Compromise was like, Warren G, like he said it in such an authentic conviction. He said it with so much conviction, but it was so authentic. He's like, they the masters of confusion, dog. Like, why would you expect anything else? That is an arrogant, non-melanated, non-athletic, envious, motherfucking, suspected, dominant society white supremacist. And if he's the only one being called to the fore, I believe there were tons of other dominant society coaches in the NBA that was going out of their way to treat niggas like shit. Even though it's dominated by foundational black Americans, they were still going their way to do it because it's a high from some people. Some dominant society motherfuckers get a high out doing that to people. Upholding the system of racism and white supremacy. That's why a lot of them couldn't stand Jordan. Straight up. Couldn't stand MJ. Because MJ that, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm the shit. This is my fucking league. And fuck all y'all. So when you hear a person like Kenyon Martin talk about that, he I read articles where he disrespected Kenyon Martin's mom. Like, dog, like these players are not just reacting because they got problems. I remember Gilbert Arenas. Look, I try to listen to the contents of what they're talking about. Gilbert Arenas said there was another coach, Shaq called him the master of panic. Stan Van Gundy. He's like, Stan Van Gundy used to just be talking shit about all the players to everybody. I hate people like that. Just causing so much confusion and talking shit on the sidelines. And what Gilbert Arenas said, I give him props on that. It's just like, dude, what are you doing? You're going to fuck up the team. And I believe a lot of these other dominant society people should be calling these hoe-ass motherfuckers to the floor. Why y'all always want black folk to dry snitch on each other, but y'all don't want to dry snitch on y'all people? Why don't y'all bring y'all anti-black racist people to the floor. Why we gotta bring them? Y'all know they doing it. They among y'all. But as soon as somebody say something anti-Semitic or some bullshit like that, they expect everybody to turn on the motherfucker. That's why y'all notice ain't nobody talking about that Israel and Palestine shit no more. Y'all notice that? Ain't nobody really talking about that shit because black folk ain't buying what you're selling. That ain't our business. We don't got a dog in that fight. We ain't saying shit about it. Man, I just feel like as I've been listening and reading and looking on social media, I'm proud of Kenyon Martin for being like, fuck that motherfucker, man. Kenyon Martin also talked about how, when this dominant society man was sick and he won some type of an award, his team told him, man, you should go to show solidarity. None of the other team went. None of the other NBA players. What does that tell you about this motherfucker? And then what you doing writing a book about me, motherfucker? Don't put my name in your hoe ass book, because besides coaching with your unexperienced ass, you ain't got shit else going on. And I believe other coaches and other staff members knew he was like that, and nobody never said anything. That's part of the fucking problem. Y'all motherfuckers always want to be quoting fucking MLK all goddamn day. Oh, MLK. But MLK said injustice anywhere, injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. Basically, you see something, say something, motherfucker. Let's let this motherfucker treat black players like that. Because technically it's still a job. So I'm the best at my job, but you still want to treat me like shit? That's anti-black racism. You're not establishing a system of justice. Then motherfuckers got to go out and answer questions because you want to write a hoe-ass book? Man, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you and your son type shit, man. Get your ass the fuck up out of here. And that's why don't nobody like his bowling ball head ass. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all need to understand, man, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was correct. This is genetic annihilation. Y'all need to understand that. Neely Fuller Jr. was right like that from No Compromise said. They the masters of confusion. They the one call it goddamn confusion. We gotta understand that. And then make side deals with each other. They do that shit on purpose because they know we gotta be individuals because we ain't never came from nothing. So we gotta wake up, ladies and gentlemen. Go read this article. Go look it up. Look up what Kenyon Martin said. Look up all the sucker shit. Go watch Carmelo Anthony's podcast with the dude from Jesus and Mero. He talked about George Karl, how fucked up he was. And see, just like a nigga, Melo said some real shit, and I believe he did it. He said the team came to him. The ownership came to him and said, do you think we should sign an extension with George Karl? Melo was like, yeah, man, because I feel like this is the coach we need. This is after George Karl was treating the team like shit. Black folk always being a goddamn doormat for everybody else. So fuck that motherfucker, man. Hell yeah, I've been doing my research and reading articles about this shit all week. I'm on one for real when it comes to this shit, because it's like, you know how many dominant society coaches have ruined black athletes' careers? Go do your research and understand that if you're not establishing a system of justice, what the fuck are you doing? I call it ruining lives. I'm done. Guilty, nigga. Peace.